Struggling to lose weight? Need a little kickstart to your results? Well, let me save you a lot of wasted time and effort and share with you 15 tips that made all the difference in my results so that you can get the best results as fast as possible. Tip number 1, work in the foods you love first. For me, this is dessert. Often the thing we love the most is the least healthy for us, so we cut it out first. But we need to do the opposite and actually plan it in first to work everything else around it and create a lifestyle balance. When we cut out the foods we love, we sabotage ourselves. Restricting them just leads to us wanting them more and ultimately binging on them and falling off our plan. Work in the foods you love so you want to stay consistent with a healthy lifestyle you're building. Tip number 2, quality does and doesn't matter. Obviously, whole natural foods are best for our health, but you can still overeat healthy foods. If you've been frustrated not seeing weight loss results while thinking, my diet is so healthy and clean, realize that your portions could still be off. And we also need to stop making ourselves feel guilty for enjoying some not so quality foods as we strike the balance right for us. Follow the 80-20 rule, consuming whole natural nutrient-dense foods 80% of the time while still enjoying the not as quality foods you love. And remember, portions still really matter. Tip number 3, it's not forever. Nothing works forever. While we want to make true habit and lifestyle changes, we need to realize that our needs and goals will change with time, and our diet and exercise routines will need to adjust and adapt as well. You're building a foundation with the changes you're making, but you can't get so tied to something you aren't willing to adjust with time. Focus on truly learning the fundamentals and basics so you understand how things work for you, so you can adjust as you need when your lifestyle and goals change. Tip number 4, keep it simple, butthead. It's so easy to get caught up in all of the options out there, and it isn't stupid to want to overcomplicate things. But we do need to keep it simple if we want to see the best results. As the more details we add in all at once, the more our attention gets divided, and the harder we make it on ourselves to dial in the big picture plan, which matters most. We're being a butthead, and I mean that as a slight term of endearment, if we start worrying about details like meal timing and supplements and the best foods for fat loss, before we first simply get consistent with our workout routine while dialing in our overall macros and calories for the day. So set a few big picture things to start with and get consistent with those before worrying about anything else. Tip number 5, stop overcorrecting. We're human. There will be days that don't go as planned, days we just aren't as motivated, days that we just mess up. But instead of feeling guilty, instead of trying to do more the next day to make up for it, we just need to get right back on track to those healthy habits. We need to do what we can as soon as we can to just move forward. It's like if we get a flat tire, we don't slash the other 3. No, we fix the flat or call a tow truck so we can get moving forward as fast as possible. Don't make the situation worse. Don't try to do more to correct it, as that will often backfire. Just move forward. Tip number 6, focus on strength training over cardio. Our workout should be about more than just burning calories. So while we may burn more calories in a single cardio session over a strength workout, this really shouldn't be our focus. Training is about becoming functionally stronger and moving our best. And if we want to really improve our weight loss efforts, we need to focus less on how many calories we burn in a single session and more on how we can increase our lean muscle mass to raise our metabolic rate and burn more calories even at rest. So focus on strength training to actually see better results faster, especially as we get older. Since it becomes harder to build and retain lean muscle as we get older, we want to do everything we can to promote better muscle hypertrophy. Tip number 7, you can't just listen to your body. We wouldn't be struggling to lose weight if we could just eat intuitively. Intuitive eating needs to be learned. So if you're trying to achieve body recomposition, you won't be able to just listen to your body and eat according to its cues. Our body doesn't like change, and it believes the state it's in, the weight you've been at, is normal. So your body will resist any weight loss efforts. You'll feel hungry. There will be mental struggles as you make changes to habits you've always done. But change requires change. Tip number 8, there's no quick fix. Plain and simple, change doesn't happen overnight. And even expecting to reverse 10 years of weight gain in a single year is truly overnight results. The longer we've had the weight on, the longer we've been repeating the habits that don't work, the longer it will take to see changes. And often the closer we get to our goal, the slower the progress will be, especially if we're trying to see true fat loss and not just quickly lose weight on the scale through glycogen depletion and water weight being lost. So get ready to focus on consistency over doing more to get results faster. We can't out-exercise or out-diet time. Tip number 9, recovery is key. Often we try to do more by training longer and harder and cutting out more from our diet. But often the more we really need to do is rest and recover. Those easy recovery sessions when we relax and sleep and de-stress, that is when we are actually repairing and seeing the benefits of our hard training sessions and changes in macro ratios. Without recovery time, you're just going to keep beating yourself down instead of ever allowing your results to build up. So prioritize sleep, plan in rest days, do that rehab work. It may not feel beneficial, but it's truly what makes your hard work add up. Tip number 10, avoid restriction. Often we cut out more in an attempt to get results faster, but all this does is make our habits unsustainable. It's what makes us feel like we just don't have the discipline, self-control, or willpower to see the results we want, when really we just aren't being realistic. We aren't basing things off of our needs and goals. Don't focus on cutting out. First, focus on small swaps that feel like the smallest changes and realize there can be a balance. Even start by doing the minimum, knowing results will snowball. Tip number 11, be active. The more you do, the more you do. And when we stay active, we often want to do more things that keep us moving in a positive direction. It's much easier to get lazy and eat extra crap when we're just lazing around. So get moving. Go out for walks. They're a great way to burn more fat and get in more movement without stressing your body. But get active and stay active. Especially the leaner you get and the closer to your goal you get, as you've been in a deficit for longer, the more your body may actually move less to conserve energy. Be conscious of this and make sure to make an effort to stay active throughout the day. Tip number 12, macros over calories. Macros matter most for sustainable results. The ratio you use may impact the calories right for you and impact how full you feel. And higher protein ratios can help prevent unwanted fat gain if you're in a surplus, while aiding in muscle mass retention during a deficit. Actually, higher protein ratios are the only ones shown to even help you build muscle while in a deficit. So let your macros then dictate how you dial in your calories. Don't just focus on calories in versus calories out. Tip number 13, you're not just an all or nothing person. Often we think if we can't do everything at once, there's no point in doing anything. This not only gives us an excuse not to start, but it makes us feel like we failed if one thing doesn't go as planned. But results don't happen from what we do when we're perfect, from doing more for a week. They happen because we stick with the minimum consistently day after day. Remember that small changes build. And the more that we can ingrain one habit, the easier it becomes to replicate even on days we don't feel like it. So focus on those small changes and set some minimums you know you can hit so results can snowball. Tip number 14, stop doing more. The simple fact of the matter is you can't out-exercise or out-diet time. And often the more we try to rush results, the more we simply deplete our self-control and willpower, so we can't stay consistent long-term. Many of us have been guilty of repeating this restriction, binge, guilt cycle. We do so much, burn ourselves out with the restriction, end up binging, feel guilty, fall off, then we can't get back on track for a bit and even dig ourselves more of a hole we have to crawl out of. Focus on small, sustainable changes. Realize results simply take time and get ready for the long haul, celebrating those daily habits as wins themselves. And now I saved the best one for last. Tip number 15, tracking. I know people hate on tracking for being restrictive, tedious, boring, annoying, time-consuming, frustrating. But the simple fact of the matter is, what we measure, we can manage. Tracking gives you an accurate picture of what you're doing, both diet-wise and in your workouts, so you can make accurate adjustments. If you want to create the right portion sizes for you without having to cut out the foods you love, you need to track. If you want to make sure you're getting stronger and progressing in your workouts, you need to track. So as unsexy and annoying as it is to start, it truly is the best way to avoid wasting time and know what is and isn't working. So if you've been struggling to see results, start with even just one of these tips as your focus and build. Because the hardest part is getting started, and the more you do, the more you'll want to do. We often just need to get the ball rolling. If you like the video, make sure to like it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe. We're posting new videos each week.